If you're a mid-level to C-suite leader who wants to own your growth and figure out your next small, brave move to achieve your leadership goals, you are in the right place. Welcome to the Small Brave Moves podcast, a weekly deep dive on how to be braver in leadership and in life for exceptional results. I'm your host, Nicole Bianchi, best-selling author, certified master executive coach, NSA certified speaking professional, chief bravery officer, and tough talk expert. If you're ready to become a better, braver, and more authentic leader, let's dive in. I want to tell you about a small, brave move that I made that just didn't work. I don't talk about this one often. I often talk about the ones that worked. The ones with clean endings where lessons were obvious and the client hugged me and the audience nodded and everyone left feeling so good. And that's not this story. And this is the one where I was brave and the outcome was not what I had hoped for. And I'm still years later trying to figure out what to do with it and what it cost me. Today, we're talking about bravery as a discipline, not a personality, not a mood, and what that means on the days that it just doesn't deliver. Stop waiting to feel brave because you're not going to wake up one morning and feel brave enough. It's just not how it works. Bravery is not a personality trait that some people were handed at birth and the rest of us have to hope for. Bravery is a discipline, and you build it one ordinary day at a time. On a Tuesday morning where nothing is on fire, when no one's watching, and there's no adrenaline or crisis or reason, except that you promised yourself you would. And here's what nobody tells you about discipline. Discipline is not a guarantee. It's a practice, which means some days you show up and it does not deliver. Some days you make the move and the room just doesn't applaud. Some days the answer is no, and some days you lose the client, maybe the job, the relationship, or the room. But you still have to keep that discipline because brave is not what you built for the days it worked. Brave is what you built for the days that it just didn't. A few years ago, I made a small brave move with someone I loved. I had been rehearsing that conversation for months. The conversation was I could not keep being the version of myself that person needed me to be. And it was going to change things between us. I knew that. And I had prepared for it in a way that I tell every client to prepare. I said the sentence out loud. I leaned on my frameworks and I practiced in a room where no one was watching or listening, right? So I'm getting ready for this. And it did not go the way I had hoped. The relationship didn't become deeper. The person didn't respond with the openness I had in some quiet part of me been imagining. And what happened instead was the relationship changed permanently. It didn't end. It changed in a way that I'm still figuring out how to hold. And here's the thing I don't say often enough from stage. I don't regret making the move. But I've not fully forgiven myself for how much it cost. Some small, brave moves save you, and some ask something of you that you don't know the price for years later. Now, am I glad that I stood up for myself and I talked about the version that I was no longer, that they were trying to hold on to? Absolutely. What I expected to happen was that they would want to explore what this new relationship would look like together. And they didn't. They took it personally. They were defensive. They didn't hear the message that I was really wanting them to hear. Now, part of that could have been me. Part of that could have been how I delivered it. Part of it could have been that relationship wasn't meant to continue on anyway. So with all of that named, here are the 3 rules of the practice that I will stand by every single one of them. I stood by them the day that the move didn't work, and I stand by them today. Rule 1, do it small, do it on purpose on a Tuesday. Don't wait for a big moment. The big moment will come and you'll fail if you haven't practiced. So think small on a Tuesday when nothing is at stake except the promise you made to yourself. Rule 2, track it. Bravery invisible to you does not accrue. Keep a list, one line. Today, I did the small brave move of, and then finish that sentence. You're not journaling, you're building evidence because your brain is going to tell you on the day that the big move comes that you've never done anything brave, and your list will prove them wrong. Rule 3, do it before you feel ready. The people who look ready did the thing before they felt ready and let the feeling catch up on the other side. Some of them, the feeling caught up beautifully. Some of them, it just didn't. Both of them stayed with the practice, and that's the discipline. Here's the deeper thing I want you to hold. The discipline of bravery is not the discipline of doing brave things or having them work. It's the discipline of showing up as the version of yourself you actually are, regardless of the outcome. Every small brave move is an act of self-recognition. You're saying, I am the person who says the sentence. I am the person who sends the email. I am the person who asks the question. I am the person who does not shrink here, whether or not the room agrees. And that is why bravery is a self-leadership discipline. It's not conquering the room. It's conquering the internal negotiation you've been having with yourself for years about whether you're allowed to take up space you're already standing in. And here's what I know after years of doing this work. The move you didn't make is always more expensive than the one you did. Even when the one you made cost you something real. Even when it didn't go the way you hoped. The ones that don't work are not a reason to stop. They are a practice too. So here's your small brave move for this week. One move small on a Tuesday or whatever day you're listening to this, and when you make it, write it down, one line. Today I did the small brave move of, and finish that sentence. Not because you're journaling, but because you're building the evidence you'll need on the day that the big move comes. And the big move is coming. And the only question is whether you will have practiced it enough to make it. If this episode was for you, the one who made the move and it didn't go the way you hoped, I hope to hear directly from you. The ones that don't work are the practice too. And I want to just say, keep going. Share this with someone in your world who needs to hear this today. And if you're ready to bring Small Brave Moves framework into your organization as a keynote, a leadership development experience, or a deeper engagement, I'd love to talk. All of the details are in the show notes. Until next week, make the move anyway.
Thank you for joining me for this episode of the Small Brave Moves podcast. If you're wanting to take this work even deeper, I'm here to help. From engaging in inspirational keynote speeches to transformational coaching and workshops for leaders and teams, page-turning books, online courses, and enlightening leadership development retreats. There are so many ways that we can work together to take your leadership to the next level. For more information, check out the show notes, and let's do this together, one small brave move at a time. See you next week.